Okay, so the last example that we just did, we actually build a customer for purchasing them a custom camera, right? So we created a custom job, and they used us as again the middleman to buy something for this person, and we get to have the opportunity to charge them at a higher rate for that. And in this case, we marked them up 20%. Now, this case, we're going to go ahead and look at this one example where we're going to be using the service items, okay? And we're going to use it to bill our customers for the subcontractors that we have on our list. So again, a subcontractor to us is a vendor. So this is what we get to do. So we go to the items list and double click the photographer item, and this will open the edit window. Okay, so we're going to manipulate and change a few things on this item. So again, I'm going to go here, and we're going to go to items list. And then we're going to go to look for photographer right here. And we're going to go ahead and double click that. So once we double click it, we notice that it is already filled out for us. However, it wants us to associate a cost to it. It's going to cost $75. So we're going to make sure that this item becomes part of an assembly item. So now that extends it and creates a bigger profile or a bigger information. So here I'm going to write in, it's going to cost $75. So at least we know this one.
Lynn, you're on the wrong one, actually.
Wrong one? Say that again?
You selected photo paper instead of photographer.
Oh, okay, my bad. Cancel. Okay, so up one, up. Photographers. It's a service item, photographer. There you go. Thank you, guys. Okay, so here it's already here. The information, we just want to double check to make sure that the item is going to be, has all this information on here. So this is what we're going to be doing. So if we ever use the photographer, which is our, one of our services, right? We independently contract our photographers. So they cost to us $75, but we are going to charge them $125 to our customers to have, so we cover the payments for those customers. So let's go ahead and verify no specific vendor or user, and it's going to be service charge. And yes, so everything in here looks good. So now the next thing that we're going to do is select OK, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to enter a bill for Easy Bay photographers. Okay, so that is our vendors that we are using for this specific thing. And then we're going to make sure that, we're going to do custom jobs in the column, and we're going to insert, okay, and we're going to save and close. So let's see what we're going to do. We're going to select the items tab. Okay, so let's go ahead and just do it. Here, we've already acknowledged that the item is there. It's there. Service, everything. So I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to go ahead and it says to go enter a bill. And we're going to recognize that we used East Bay photographers. Okay, all the information should drop down. And then we're going to go to, is it items tab that we go to? It says we're going to click the items tab to complete the form, okay? And we're going to check mark the billable question. So enter a bill to East Bay, and we're going to make sure that the custom job column includes the one that each. So we're going to go to items. So here, right here, you have the options to either charge an expense or you can charge an item. And in this case, I think we're going to do photographer. And we're going to make sure that it's selected as billable. So custom job. Who are we? Are we actually assigning someone to this job? Let's see.
You have Cruz, Maria, and Mason, Bob.
Okay, so those two people. Okay, so if you scroll down, you're gonna have two items here for Cruz Maria and Mason Bob. Thank you for that. So let's go ahead and do that. So first one, I'm gonna bill for Cruz Maria. And is for just the regular Cruz Maria or is it for the branch opening?
It's for the branch.
Perfect. And then lastly, we're also going to bill them for another photographer. Okay. Oopsies, I clicked photo paper again. Photographer. And this time it's for Mason Bob.
You still have photo paper selected.
I thought I selected. Okay, hold on. Let's just cancel. Okay, so here it needs to be photo. I said cancel.
You have to take the NAS out, or it'll just keep doing that when
And
that
this.
you wrote in customer.
Okay.
So hit cancel right now, and then just remove that NAS real quick. Just delete that.
And then be able to toggle here.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, photo. Oh my gosh, I thought I hit the photographer. There. Okay, photographer. Okay. And then now I can go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and type in Bob. He should be the first person. Perfect. Make sure that they're both billable. Okay, so we are billing them, our customers, for this specific vendor. And I'm going to make sure that the date is going to be May 20th. Sounds fine. That's fine. Reference number. I guess is there a reference number? Let's see.
5678.
5678. Thank you. Five. Five, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and the total amount is for $150 because remember they only charge $75.
You need 6 under Cruz Maria and 15 under Bob Mason for the quantity.
Oh, for the hours. Okay, so we got 6 here. You said 15 for Bob Mason.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So now the number has changed to 1575. Okay. And then save and close. Oh, actually, quick classes. Yes, classes. Are they both?
Yeah, Walnut Creek.
Walnut Creek for both.
And San Jose.
San Jose. Perfect. Okay, and then now we can be done. So again, the date is relevant. Okay, so I want to make sure that this is relevant. So I'm going to keep it at May 20th. Just so then if we do have to pay for the bill, it's done. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything looks good. No memo. No, nothing in the memo. Okay, looks good. Everything looks good and it matches my book. I'm gonna go ahead and click save and close. Now I'm gonna be able to, I should be able to create invoices for both Cruz Maria as well as Mr. Bob Mason. And it's going to be the same steps. You're going to insert the information and charge as is. And in this case, we already charged him a higher percentage. We don't need to charge him any more for this. So, yes, so we can go ahead and select those two people and do that. Now, I'm going to do just only one for the sake of time, just because it's rinse and repeat. Same thing's going to happen. There's nothing different, too much different about it. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and create my invoice. And let's say I'm going to have Bob Mason, since he was one of our selected customers, to do a job for us. And boom, it says, hey, you got something billable for them. I'm going to go ahead and select items because that's what it was under. Keep going, keep going. Items. And then I'm going to select this. And I'm going to click OK. And then it's going to formulate right here that I am being charged for 16 hours of a photographer. And it's for $125 each. So he owes me all this money. And PO number. Is there a purchase order number for him? No, there isn't. However, I am going to toggle the date because I'm going to say he didn't do it until he didn't have his, the bill didn't send him until the 23rd. All right. And just looking at all this information, I'm going to say thank you for your business, Bob. And I'm going to say 16 photographers. Okay, tax is tax. Is it Santa Clara? I don't even know if the book is going to show me. That is for Cruz Maria. I'm going to leave it cost... Santa Clara. Yeah, I think, yeah, Santa Clara, San Jose. And I'm going to go ahead and validate everything. Make sure everything looks good. It's billable. Good. Everything looks good. So he owes us $1,800. And I'm going to click Save and Close. So there, we just sent out an invoice. And the same thing happens, okay? But this time, we didn't mark him up. But however, we already charged $50 extra for preparing the service for him. Okay, so the vendor charged us $75, but we went ahead and took advantage of it and said, I am going to charge an additional $50 for the service because I need the equipment. My name's on the logo, things like this. Okay. So here I went ahead and billed them for that service. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Again, it's rinse and repeat. Same thing. Just make sure that you are under the correct tab. And every time you enter something, you're in the correct tab. Okay. Now it's asking for unbilled costs by job reports. So again, you'd be able to go ahead and go to reports menu, and you could go to job time and billing, and let's see if they have that. Let me see. Unbilled cost by jobs. Okay, so if I were to do that, I can see that I've already sent out a couple bills for the jobs. I sent one to Maria Cruz and I sent one to Bob Mason. So they still have to pay me to pay my jobs that were completed. Okay, so these are the ones that were assigned these jobs. Okay, and they still haven't paid us yet. So that is the report here. Okay, this just tells you who has not paid for their billed cost. Okay, and then, oh my God, did I record? I don't think I did. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Okay, so, yes, so here we've just saw the unpaid bills. Okay, so next section that we're going to be looking at is billable time. Okay, so what you can do with billable time is you could pretty much do this. Again, it's especially for anything like if you have a service or if you have employees. This is the most important part to keep track of. Paying your employees is number one. Okay, usually those are the ones that you would usually use the timing for. So with the QuickBooks, they offer you a few things that you can do for payroll. But this is if you're just entering just time just to keep track of it and keep track of the billable expense, then you can go ahead and use this. But tomorrow, when we dive straight into what we do with payroll and what we do with our employees, it's going to be a completely separate, different process. Okay? But in this case, let's say I just want you to turn in a timesheet to me, whatever it is. I can go ahead and do that. So what QuickBooks does is, if you have your employees set, you should have the enter time button at the bottom. So here we have enter time. Okay, so you can you would usually set it up, but if I'm going to do just enter time as a single activity, I can do that as well. So that's what it means. Like you can either do for your employees, you can either track them by a weekly basis, or you could do it for just one single activity. Okay, so you can go here to enter time. Another way that they said that you can do that as well is if you go up to the employees on the menu bar, you'd be able to click let me see, there's payroll setup, enter time right here. Okay, so if I were to click that, what's going to happen is it's going to allow me to give me the same options right here. Do I want to enter in as a weekly transaction or and enter as a single activity? Now in this case, I think we're going to be looking at what a timesheet looks like for a specific employee that we have. Or for example, let's say you're 1099 contractor, they need to report to you when they get to the job and how many hours they did. So then when they report to you, you properly pay them as an expense. Okay, so this is what the timesheet looks like. It's nothing too extreme, nothing too, it looks very similar to Excel. All you're doing is just filling in the columns and selecting how many hours you did per day. Now it's gonna ask you, well, what is the week that you're doing for, or what is the pay period? Okay, so in this case, I'm selecting who I'm going to be paying. Wait, let me go ahead and check out the picture, see who I'm going to actually be doing this example for. Okay, so here,
Mike Mazuki.
Mike. I think that's Mazowski, like the character from Monsters Inc. Mike Mazowski. Okay, or Mazowski, whatever you want to call him. And it wants me to do for January 7th of 2019. I'm gonna change that date just to make it relevant. So okay, so again, you can either drop down menu or you can just type in Mike, and here he is. Okay, Mike is going to be actually one of our workers. Okay, and then let's see. I want to change the date for January. I'm going to do January 6th, okay? So the week of January 6th. So once you do that, what QuickBooks does is it automatically takes that date and starts numbering it by day right here. So if you look here, on Monday is the 6th, Tuesday is the 7th, Wednesday is the 8th, Thursday is the 9th. So it actually gives you keep track of the exact day that you're actually recording. So here, I'm going to see what dates he has selected on here. So here, he's going to say that he did what kind of item, what kind of job did Mike Mazowski do? And in this case, he did, oh my gosh, I cannot read that. He did 3 things. He did Bob Mason, I can see that one. He did Maria Cruz Branch, and then the one before that looks like Anderson Wedding for Kumar. Okay, so he did 3 items, okay? Or yes, except the first one is blank.
The first one, well, he just had a staff meeting, so that's why it's blank.
Okay, so it just yeah, no, my book is scanned really bad. So staff meeting,
Yeah,
okay.
it's really hard to read it in our book too.
Staff meeting, okay, so staff meeting, and he clocked in on, does that say Monday?
Monday, yeah.
Monday for how many hours? 5 hours, and then he clocked in 3 hours for for Bob Mason. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill that in. So here is blank, okay? But we know that in the memo or the notes that we know that this is a staff meeting. I'm going to go ahead and enter in all the rest of the information. So this one was Anderson Wedding for Kumar and Sati, I think it said. Her. And then we had one for Cruz Maria. Branch opening. And then the last one was Bob Mason. Okay. And boom. Okay. And let me see what else information do I need to put for each one. Each one is going to be I have no idea. Does that say customer
Where are you?
photo session? Outdoor photo session. Oh my dear Lord. Oh my dear Lord. Okay. Okay, so for the Anderson wedding is an indoor photo shoot. Okay, so this person is in charge of that. And then for Cruz Maria was an outdoor photo shoot. And then for Bob Mason was also an outdoor photo shoot. Okay, and for each one, we're going to say hourly, regular, and then, okay, I think I'm going to stop there. Hourly, regular. So when we actually get to go ahead and look in to setting up our employees, you'll understand what this section does for each employee, okay? Hourly, regular. And do we need to make notes? No, I'm not going to make notes. Okay, so for here on Monday, he did 5-hour meetings. And then for the Mason Bob, oh, do I actually have to write? Okay, so 5-hour meetings. The employee is set to have activities. Hold on. Oh, we have to set up a payroll item? Anyways,
Is that where the staff meeting would be?
no. It's saying that because I didn't do the payroll setup item yet, I can't actually do this.
I think you need to put that hourly regular in on that staff meeting one too.
Okay. Let me get rid of this information real quick. Hourly, regular. Okay, so that's what is, because it was 5. Okay, so let me 5 here. Nope, still says something. Says this row is all right. So
Mark it unbillable. You just have to uncheck the billable at the end, because it's not billable to a job.
okay. So there, it's there. Okay, so I got 5 to go through, and then 3 hours here on Tuesday for Mr. Bob Mason. Okay. Let's see. Did I skip all of that information in here at all? Okay, I guess I missed that information. So we got Tuesday, we got 2 hours, and then does that say 8 hours on Tuesday for the, okay, so I think that should say 2 and 6, 3 and 5, and 6 and 2 on Thursday, and then Friday is a full 8 hours. So 6 and 2, 2 and 6, 3 and 5. Okay, let's do this. So Tuesday he did 2 hours here, and then he did 6 hours here. And then here he did 3 hours here. And then for Bob Mason, he did 5 hours. And then Thursday was Thursday the same? Thursday was 6 and 2, 6 and 2, and then 8 for the last one. So wait, up here, one up.
Don't feel bad, Lynn. I got magnifying glass with my glasses on trying to read the book.
And then, yeah. So, I should probably retype this up some point in my life. And then lastly for Mason, oh shoot, I think I put in the wrong one. Mason Bob. So Mason has 4 sessions. Cruz Maria has 3. So let me see. So okay. So I think I made that one wrong. Yes, I did. Okay, so Bob Mason's supposed to have the 2 hours here. Oops. 2 hours here, and then has 6 hours here, and then here had 8 hours. Okay. So let's see, and then yes, so then after that they're all billable except for that one thing, and then we could be able to be like, okay, so we got everything in there, and oopsies. And we would be able to look at this, Mike Wazowski. Yes, those are the things that he timed shift his shift for. And I'm going to go ahead and click save and close. So now if we go to our employee center, right, something that we've never seen before. Again, we'll talk about it all tomorrow. Actually, I don't know if we'll get the chance to talk about it, but we will get there. And if I were to go ahead and select Mr. Mike Wazowski, as you can see, he has okay, no transaction there, so I haven't paid him yet. Or let me see. Okay, that's in his information, so I have no idea what's going on. So I guess, but in order to be able to see that list, you're going to have to click enter time. And then use the weekly one. And then you would actually have to enter in the name again. Okay. and then you would actually have to select it for that actual pay period. So if I'm looking, I made a mistake on one of his titles. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to here, and it's going to show up his entire timesheet here. Let's say he forgot to record an extra 3 hours on Friday because they did an emergency, I don't know, anything that can happen, emergency meeting. Okay, so let's say they had an emergency meeting on Friday and I want to edit that information, I'd be able to edit his time right here. Okay, all right, so that's what happens when you want to bill people for, bill either your employees, your independent contractors, whatever that you want to be billing for to keep track of time, whether it's a job that they did or whether it's, their employee. If you're on an hourly rate, that is exactly what you're going to be doing. Again, you have the capabilities to print them out a timesheet. I'm gonna go ahead and skip that part just because, the main goal line that all this stuff is, you can be able to find it in the employee in tomorrow's section. Okay. And then lastly, invoicing customers for time. I'm gonna go ahead and skip that. You guys can read that on your own. Again, it's if I were to scale it, I don't think it's as important as just the main three that you can do when you're billing your customers. Okay, so few other things that also teach you is, well, what happens if you want to bill for the owner's or partner's time. So what you can do here is you can go to list, and you would have to actually create. Do you have to create another item? So there are other ways that you can expense this. Again, you can either use the timesheet. The timesheet could also work towards you as well if you're doing a specific task. So the only thing that you have to do is you have to create an item for the specific job title that you're doing for, or let's say you need to title a specific task, and you want to make sure that you have created an item. Let's say if you're going to be charging for a specific amount, you need to create a payroll item, which we will learn in tomorrow's lesson. And what you're going to do with that is basically to keep track of your items, like whatever, for whatever job it is, whether it's a personal job or not a personal job, but whatever that, the company is willing to pay you for, whether you're the owner or whether you're the partner, or you just want to keep track in general on how long it takes you to complete a project, then you're going to have to first create the item first with the job, with the itemized job title or whatever the project name is. And then you would use the timesheet and you would just enter in just as regular. Make sure that your name is under there, so then when you do get billed or you actually end up keeping track of how many hours it took you to complete the project, then it's pretty straightforward from there. Okay, and then in the next section for payroll, we will be going over how you pay them and how to we're going to go over how to pay them, how to pay for the taxes that you've collected off of them, and things like that. So again, that's also a rinse and repeat. It's the same thing as, keeping track of your employees, whether you're keeping track of yourself or keeping track of other people. So if I keep scrolling and scrolling, I'm going to see that I have the next section is going to be, the last section is going to be time reports. So again, you are able to see time by by your name. Okay, you could do pretty much anything here. So let's go ahead take a look at the time and billing reports again. So again, if you go to reports on the menu bar, you go to jobs, times, and mileage, and then you'd be able to look up on what are you looking for? Are you looking for a job? Are you looking for items in particular? Are you looking at time specifically? So you could do time by jobs. You could do time by name, time by item. Okay? And then if I were to do that time by item, so here's the items that we've had. So again, this is for the Anderson wedding, the Bob Mason, and as well as the Maria Cruz. Okay, so this is when Mike Wazowski, he put his time in for these specific items. So again, when you are doing a project, it'd be different because your time project would be labeled as an item as, sales project, whatever you want to do, product project, whatever title that you want to be putting it under, make sure that you create an item for it and it will collect all the data here. So here, Mike Wazowski's job was inputted. So here we have all the titles here for all the items that we've completed. Okay, and that's pretty much for what you can do for reports. Again, whatever report geared towards whatever is relevant to your job is what's most important, okay? Whether you use it or not. All right, then we're coming up to our review questions. Yay. Okay. So, review questions. Let's go over it. Okay, so let's go. So, question number 1. In QuickBooks, you are allowed to pass through billable expenses to customers. Okay. I think this is asking, is it true? Okay, so A, only if you paid by credit card. B, only if you paid by a check or credit card, but you don't assign the customer or job. Or C, if you used a bill or check or credit card charge and assign the customer / job to it. Or D, none of the above. So I guess it's asking what is true that you can pass through a billable option.
C.
You put C, if you use a bill, check or a credit card and assign a custom job to which okay, hold on. Hold on, so in QuickBooks, you are allowed to pass through billable expenses to customers. Is it C?
It's on page 261, right under reimbursable billable expenses. Start by entering a bill, check, or credit card charge to record the original expense and then assign the customer or job to which the expense applies.
Good. It is C. Okay, good. It is C. That's correct. That I was looking at the wrong answer. So yes, it is yes. Yes, this is the first line that is written in the very first section when you're looking under billable cost. This is the very first line that says that if you are creating a bill or you have a check or if you're paying by credit card, you have the option to fill in that little customer and assign assess. Yes. Okay, so A is definitely wrong, and D is definitely wrong because there is a choice that is the correct answer. Okay, number 2. Which account types can be used in the expense tab of the purchase transaction to make the expense billable? Which one can be is the question, right? Yes, which one can be used? A, cost of goods sold, B, expense, C, other expense, or C or D, all the above.
You can do it through
D.
all.
Yes. Which one, so D, all of the above is correct. Which one can you not use? It's in your book. There's one asset type that you cannot use.
Income accounts.
Income accounts. Good. Yes. Okay, so think about this question and think about what other ways it can ask you. Okay, so it could say, can use all except. Okay, so make sure that you are aware and read the question carefully. All right, number 3. If you want to assign an expense to a customer / job, but do not want to pass them through for reimbursable, do the following in purchases transaction. So it's asking you if you want to assign a job but do not want to pass it as billable, what do you do? Okay, what do you do? A, do not assign the custom job. B, assign to custom job and then click the checkbox in the window to not have it billed. Or C, delete the invoice. Or D, A, and B.
You never delete,
Yes.
so that one's wrong. Assign,
You
Assign
said
the customer job and then uncheck the check mark.
yes, that is actually the most correct one, because if you don't assign the custom job at all, you're just doing a regular purchase order. So B is the correct answer. Yes. Okay, let's explore A though. Let me see. Let's see if yes, number 3 is B. Yes. So again, A, if you do create a purchase order and you do not assign it, yeah, it's just you're just creating a purchase order for the sake of a purchase order. As in, like, the person that you are going to be charging for it will not have any associate links or any associate extra costs, because you're not assigning that a specific item to that person. Okay, so yes, B is the correct answer. If you don't want it to be billable, you just uncheck the billable. Okay, number 4. Which of the following tabs appear in the choose billable time and costs? Okay, do you see items? Do you see expenses? Do you see time? Or do you see all of the above?
they're all there.
I believe so. Yes.
Items and expenses.
Huh?
Items and expenses for sure.
Yes, items and expenses are definitely there. Time, and there's one more. There's mileage. I don't know. That's, yeah. So you can bill people for mileage. So a lot of companies, right, that let you either use a company car, or if you travel, they say that, hey, keep track of your mileage because we can reimburse you for that, for your travels. So that's one of the options. But for this sake of this course, we will not explore it. So, but it is an option that you can do if in case you do want to explore some mileage. Okay? So yes, D, all the above, they are all there. Okay? And today we went over every single one. So, okay. Number 5. So in an invoice, you can automatically mark up the past through expense using the markup account option. Okay, it is available in the choose billable time and cost window on the blank items tab, expense tab, time tab, or all of the above. Where do you see this significant little markup tab? Where can you see this little markup tab? Now, if you guys remember, let's rewind our brains a bit. It was the first entry I did in QuickBooks.
Expense.
It is in expense tab. Because when we did the items tab, they didn't have that. You had to manually mark it up, right? So that's wrong. And then in the time tab, I don't believe you can mark up for time. That has nothing to do with what the time does for you. And it is for expense tab. So B is the correct answer. Okay, let's see if we're good on time. Okay, so right now it is 11. I'm going to see if I can be able to get through as much as I can for, let's see which one's longer. Okay, so problem 1 is obviously shorter. So I'm going to see if we can get through problem 1, and then I'm going to call it for the rest of the day. So I guess today we ran through time, funny, a lot longer than expected. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this problem real quick, and then we can call it a day. Unless you guys, unless you want to take time now to review anything with Mr. Sanchez, because he's here today. Anybody? You want to review something? You want to do the review sheet? You want to do any of those things? Because tomorrow is going to be a long session.
Does anyone have any questions about that certification guideline?
Oh,
Is everyone satisfied?
I don't know if, yeah, this is great.